Good morning. It's Wednesday, August the 14th, 2013. This is the AGORACOM News TV. In this program, we go over various different news releases on a daily basis, trying to find you some really good companies to do your homework on and find winners from those companies. I'm Alan Barry Labucan. I'm the Chief Market Commentator for AGORACOM. Today was a really big news day. I've got 8 press releases hot off the press, so we're going to get right into it. We've got a lot to talk about today, and I'm going to try to get through these fairly quickly. So first of all, I'm going to go through a company called U.S. Silver. U.S. Silver reported their second quarter financial and operational results for the quarter that ended June the 30th, 2013. The highlights are they implemented a previously announced small mine plan in July to lower cash and overall cost at Galena Complex and increase the grade mine in order to be profitable at current silver prices. Replaced extension on existing $7.9 million debt with new 3-year $8.5 million facility provided at a comparable rate. They had strong consolidated silver production of 651,000 ounces for the quarter, a 23% increase over the second quarter of 2012 at a cash cost of $16.67 per ounce, which is a 6% decrease over the second quarter of 2012. Gold production of 1,795 ounces, which reflects only April and May as their Drum Lumen mine operations were suspended on May the 31st, 2013. Consolidated year-to-date production of 1.25 million silver ounces, which is a 16% increase over 2012, and 3,956 ounces of gold. Galena Mine Complex production of 629,227 silver ounces, a 19% increase over the second quarter of 2012. Cash cost $16.41, which represents 20% reduction over the previous quarter and 8% over 2012. Underground drilling in the silver-copper areas adjacent to the Caladay zone has the potential to expand resources on the 4,900 level. They hit some good grades in there. Strike length 112 feet, widths of 11 feet, average grades of 19.3 ounces per ton silver equivalent. Consolidated revenue of $16.9 million, net loss of $8.3, 14 cents per quarter. Revenues of $39.8 million and net loss of $11.7 million for year to date. Galena Complex revenues of $13.5 million, net loss of $2.3 million for the quarter, and the year numbers are $31.1 million, net loss of $200,000 year to date. They have cash and cash equivalents totaling $7.4 million. Darren Blasutti, who is the President and Chief Executive Officer of U.S. Gold, stated, and I quote, "We set out to deliver strong production, increase grade, and reduce costs during the second quarter of 2013. While we were successful on all fronts, the current silver price environment also required us to keep a close eye on our balance sheet and be ready to take quick and decisive action should the price of silver continue to decline. As a result, we were prepared and able to rapidly introduce a small mine plan when market conditions worsen. The plan will allow us to mine profitably at a current silver price and positions the Galena Complex well for an increase in the price of silver," end quote. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen here. Since this quarter ended, the price of silver has been getting stronger. I think that silver will get stronger. So if for a company like a U.S. Silver and Gold, this will help them turn around. They've kind of dealt with the tough market for the price of silver, and I think that's going to pay dividends for them down the road as the price turns around for silver and gold. Their stock symbol is USA on the Toronto Exchange. The next company is Freegold. The headline is Freegold intersects 180 meters grading 1.13 grams per ton gold in resource expansion drilling, the Golden Summit project in Alaska. Freegold has released results from the first of the 2013 Dolphin Cleary summer program. Total of 3 holes have been drilled for a total of 5,468 feet, or 1,666 meters, since drilling resumed mid-July. They highlight the highlight again is that hole in the headline. They had an entire hole mineralized for 0.82 grams per ton gold over 1,885 feet, included in that 180 meters grading 1.13 grams. These are some of the highest grade intercepts over a significant interval drilled to date on the project. That hole demonstrates the potential for higher grade near surface mineralization. So they had some very good results from their summer drilling at their Alaska project. I'm going to take a little closer look because those are some pretty thick intersections, and that looks like they've got a high tonnage type target there. The stock symbol is FVL on the Toronto Exchange. The next news release that I have is from Atac Resources. The headline from that news is Atac Resources drills 15.24 meters of 9.83 grams per ton gold at Sunrise Rackla Gold Project in the Yukon. They released the results from the first 7 diamond drill holes completed at the Sunrise Zone, which is located 300 meters east of the Osiris Zone and within the Nadaline Trend at the eastern end of Atac's 100% owned 1,700 square kilometer Rackla Gold Project in central Yukon. The highlights are the Sunrise and Osiris zones coalesce into a large near-surface gold zone. Drilling to date confirms grade, width, and continuity at Sunrise, and Sunrise strength length extended to 200 meters and tested to a depth of 250 meters from surface. There is a quote from their Graham Downs, who's the CEO of Atac, and he stated, and I quote, 2013 drilling at the Sunrise Zone has confirmed grade and continuity of gold mineralization westward, where it becomes the down dip extension of the Osiris Zone. We are very excited about the expansion of the Sunrise Zone and resulting convergence of both zones into a larger near-surface gold zone. Results from the additional Sunrise Zone step-out holes drilled toward and down dip of Osiris will be reported once received and compiled. They also note, or that end quote. They also noted that Sunrise Zone drill hole cross-sections and a plan view can be viewed on the company's website at atacresources.com. So it looks, sounds like what they're having here is they've had a couple zones, one higher, one lower. They're kind of coming together, which is very good for their prospects of this project turning into a mine. I've been watching the project for a long time. I think that this is very good news for the company. What they talk about, the drill hole cross sections and plan view, you can get a view from looking down and see where they've drilled the holes, and then when they take the cross section, it's like taking a side view where you can see from the surface down how they're hitting the gold in their drilling. So that will help you sort of get a three-dimensional interpretation of what the body looks like, and I'll definitely be going to look at that and do more homework on this. This is quite good news for Atac. Their stock symbol is ATC, and they trade on the Venture Exchange. The next company I want to talk about is Sierra Metals. Sierra Metals drilling identifies a wider, high-grade silver, zinc, lead ore body at the Cachi mine in its Yuracocha operations in Peru. Drilling at Sierra Metals' Yuracocha mine in Peru has discovered high-grade silver, lead, zinc mineralization at the It's either Chachi. My Spanish isn't very good. Located immediately north of the central mine area. The positive results of this drilling demonstrates additional potential economic polymetallic mineralizations occurs within the Yaracocha fault zone along strike from the main mine area. Highlights from the drilling: one of their holes cut 5.6 meters of true width, averaging 199 grams per ton silver, 6.44% lead, and 19.93% zinc in the Elisa body. There had another hole with 4.6 meters of true width, averaging 226 grams per ton silver, 18.16% lead, and 19.42% zinc in the Escondida body of the Cachi mine. Mineralization remains open to depth. There was a quote from Daniel Talicia, the company's president and CEO, and he stated, and I quote, "These results support our prediction that additional high-grade ore occurs along the Yaracocha fault, an area that is essentially unexplored." The significance of this discovery is that the drilling has transformed expectations of the Cachi ore body from a small one to a more important one, whose higher grades could increase the average head grades fed to the processing mill while replacing reserve depletion from the other Cachi ore bodies. This discovery also opens a new area of exploration focus at the mine. High-grade discoveries at Yaracocha in the past have been key drivers for the mine's strong profit margins. We intend to continue drilling this area to demonstrate that the Yaracocha mine has an extensive mine life before it. End quote. So there again, you know, this is a company down in Peru, getting very good drill results. It's got high grades or good grades of silver. It's got great grades of lead and zinc, which will help bring down their cost of their silver. Very interesting project here. The stock symbol is SMP on the Toronto Exchange. The next company we want to talk about is B2Gold. B2Gold reports continued strong mine operating performance in second quarter 2013, net earnings of $33.1 million. B2Gold has released results from its operations for the second quarter and six months ended June the 30th, 2013. All figures are in US dollars unless otherwise indicated. Second quarter 2013 results highlights include net earnings of $33.1 million or 5 cents per share, cash flow from operating activities before changes in non-cash working capital of $31.5 million, an increase of $3.7 million over the second quarter of 2013, adjusted net earnings of $7.7 million, which is 1 cent per share, gold revenue of $122.6 million, an increase of $65.3 million from the second quarter of 2012, gold sales of 86,239 ounces, record attributable gold production of 82,083 ounces, consolidated operating cash costs of $732 per ounce of gold compared with the budget of $745 per ounce, completion of the Brucejack royalty sale for cash proceeds of $45 million, cash and cash equivalents of $95.7 million at the quarter end. The company has reviewed the carrying value of its long-lived mining assets at June 30th and based on a long-term gold price of $1,350, concluded that no write-downs are required. And then there's some very good numbers in the 6 months year-to-date highlights. You can find that in the press release. They did some their outlook. The company is projecting another record year for gold production in 2013, with consolidated production of 360 to 380,000 ounces expected from the Libertad, Limon, and Masbate mines. forecast consolidated cash operating costs for the second half of 2013 are in the reduced range of $630 to $660 per ounce, a significant improvement over the original guidance of $685 to $730 per ounce. Then they have a lot more information about their outlook going forward. So again, you know, in a tough market, B2Gold is increasing their production. They're making more money. They're growing their balance sheet, their net cash position. They've got a better outlook, increased production, lower cost to produce that gold. I think that this company will do very well in a rising price for gold, which I see coming in the next couple quarters. So I'm very optimistic about this one. Their stock symbol is BTO on the Toronto Exchange. Another company with news out that I find really interesting is Probe Mines. They continue to define high-grade gold zone on its Borden Gold project. Probe has received further assays from drilling at the company's Borden Gold project near Chapleau, Ontario. Results for the 26 diamond drill holes were received and were successful in identifying continued high-grade gold mineralization on sections 1200 M SE, 1250 SM meter SE, and 1300 M SE. Expansion of the HGZ to the northwest as far as sections 950 M SE, and continued improvement in the potential bulk tonnage mineralization through the infill drilling program. Excuse me. The high grade, some of the highlights, results from the 10 infill drill holes in the high grade gold zone returned significant intersections of thick, high grade mineralization. The highlights include 47 meters grading 6.8 grams per ton gold at a vertical depth of approximately 330 meters, including 8 meters averaging 32.7 grams per ton gold. They had another hole with 19.4 meters grading 5.2 grams per ton gold at a vertical depth of approximately 260 meters, including in that hole was 10.3 meters averaging 8.3 grams per ton gold. Then they have some more highlights from that drilling that you can find in their press release that was out this morning. This is a very interesting project. I like those grades a lot. The thick intersections of very handsome grades of gold for that company. I'm really interested in this company. I'm going to be doing a lot more homework on the company. Their stock symbol is PRB, and they trade on the Venture Exchange. We've got a couple more to go through here. One of them is Orefinders. Orefinders intersects 5.9 meters at 27.7 grams of gold uncut within 19.2 meters at 4.77 grams of gold cut at the Murado Gold Project in Kirkland Lake. Orefinders released additional high-grade results for 7 holes from its Phase 2 diamond drilling program at the Murado Gold Project in Kirkland Lake, Ontario. Highlights included intersections of 27.7 grams per ton gold. That's what they mentioned. That's the hole that they mentioned in their the headline from their press release. Other highlights: they had a 3 meters at 6.28 grams per ton gold, 9.9 meters at 2.6 grams per ton gold, 5.3 meters at 3 grams per ton gold. So very good results from these results. There's a quote from Bill Yeomans, who's the President and Chief Executive Officer, and he stated, and I quote, "The South Zone continues to report bonanza-grade gold intercepts of potentially bulk mineable gold mineralization proximal to the ramp and open pit where a preliminary bulk sample was extracted by previous operators. The 2013 drilling has successfully expanded South Zone mineralization over a surface area of 250 meters by 300 meters and currently remains open along strike and at depth. North Zone high-grade intercepts have been intersected at depths well below all of the previous historical drilling. The North Zone also remains open to further expansion along strike and at depth. End quote. So Bill Yeomans does a great job there of explaining what's happening, very concise and very accurate, and I like what I'm hearing there. They mentioned that they have a drill hole location map on their website at the that you can find you can find the map on their website in this press release from today. The stock symbol is ORX, and that trades on the Venture Exchange. And then the final news today is some very big news on the takeover front. Sandstorm announces an agreement to acquire Premier Royalty. Sandstorm Gold and Premier Royalty entered into an arrangement agreement pursuant to which Sandstorm will acquire 100% of the outstanding common shares in the capital of Premier Royalty, other than the common shares of Premier Royalty currently owned by Sandstorm, by way of a plan of arrangement under Section 182 of the Business Corporations Act, Ontario. Summary of the arrangement: Premier Royalty shareholders will receive common shares of Sandstorm on the basis of 0.145 of a Sandstorm share for each Premier Royalty share held. The arrangement values the Premier Royalty shares at approximately 89 cents Canadian per Premier Royalty share, which represents a premium of 16% to the 20-day volume-weighted average trading price of the Premier Royalty shares on the Toronto Stock Exchange of approximately 77 cents. Based on Sandstorm's closing share price on August 13th, the total value of this transaction would be approximately Canadian 28.3 million. They have plenty of details. It looks like they've got support from the board of both companies. You can find that in the press release. You know, Sandstorm is a very interesting company. They're in the royalty business, and they're run by a guy named Nolan Watson. He was really instrumental in the success of Silver Wheaton, who is a silver royalty company. And now he's been building up this gold-focused Sandstorm Gold. He's also got another company that I think I just talked about on yesterday's news show called Sandstorm Metals and Energy. But Sandstorm Gold is a gold-focused royalties company. They go out and buy royalty from other companies, and what that allows them to do is oftentimes they'll put up a bunch of cash to help a company bring a project into production. In exchange for putting up that cash, they're able to buy gold off of the production for a reduced price for a set period of time, which is a very profitable way of doing business. Back in the 1990s, there was a couple of companies that did this very well. Euro Nevada and Franco Nevada, they grew to be very big companies, even in a much lower gold price than that we saw in the 1990s, which was down, I think, probably averaged around $325 or something like that in the late 90s. Well, Franco Nevada and Euro Nevada were doing very good. Nolan Watson is a young guy. He's very aggressive. I think he's a very smart guy. And this is a very interesting company. And now they're buying more royalties by buying out Premier Royalty. The stock symbol on the company is SSL on the Toronto Stock Exchange. So as I said at the opening there, we had a lot of news to talk about. 8 companies today, and it's kind of surprising to me, considering that we're in the dog days of summer here, that we're having no problem finding a lot of companies that are putting out a lot of good news. And so, you know, I'm very optimistic about the price of gold, silver, and other metals going forward throughout the remainder of the year. And I think that it's a great time for investors to be looking at these news releases, trying to find really good companies that are trading at bargains, because I think that the mining stocks are even more beaten down than the price of commodities. And as the price of the commodity metals get stronger, I think that these companies will perform very well also. And so on that note, that's what this show is all about, trying to find good news releases that you, our audience, can go out there and do your homework on. These are the kind of companies that I'm doing my homework on. And don't forget to join us at the end of the week show, because at the end of the week show, I take all the press releases that I talked about on the daily shows and try to find the best of those for you. So on that note, before closing, I wanted to remind you that it's important for you to do your homework and speak with your financial advisors before making any investment decisions. We'll talk. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.